right, so guys, good afternoon and welcome to Sports Chats with Lorenzo Darries, myself, Lorenzo. Today, for my second video, I've got someone that I'm so excited to chat to. It is Mr. Chris Dry. Chris, how are you, mate?
Yeah, very good, very good. Thanks for having me. Excited to get this underway. And yes, after COVID, it's exciting to be back, especially be back on the field doing normal things. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No, like I saw some videos, and it's unfortunate that I was not there on Monday. I missed out. I know we kind of chatted in the background about what happened at the medal ceremony that you had. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's not first place like you would like it to be, but it's something at least, the acknowledgement of knowing that and that you guys achieved something. But next year, come what may, I want to see that gold medal around your neck, though. And
I think a little bit of recognition. I think the guys had very good moments this year, and also some not so good moments. So yeah, I think it's nice to know that. Listen, you guys have achieved something. It's ideally not what we really wanted, but in the bigger scheme of things, we did a lot of other things besides, ending second. We've developed a lot of players. We've got a lot of guys through the system, giving guys a lot of experience. And, come Olympic time, you want that experience over maybe a previous medal. So, I think, for us over the year, not happy with second place, but second place is good in the sense that we've achieved quite a bit also within our system.
Awesome. So just to chat to you about your kind of rise and your journey within rugby. You were a Free State boy, and you made your way through the Free State Cheetahs, and then you were kind of Paul Tour saw you and thought, what, in 2010 I think you made your debut in Adelaide. And how was that journey from starting off in 15s and then transitioning into sevens and being noticed by Paul?
Well, actually, interesting story. We played a sevens tournament. I think I was 20 years old. We played that provincial sevens, and after that tournament, I looked at the guy and said, "There's something I don't think I'd ever want to do. I don't think I want to play sevens again. Just the way I felt, felt out of depth, just I didn't understand the game really. And, being at the Free State for another year, playing under 21s and having a good season and getting the opportunity, to train with the national team, I think that was something completely different. And all of a sudden, mindset changed to what amazing opportunity. My journey a lot different than what I expected, but, looking back, it was one that I was very grateful for, and I've never looked back since.
Yeah, no, definitely amazing stuff. And just the feeling when you actually made your debut in Adelaide. I just want to know what what was happening inside. What was actually going on when you kind of ran on and experienced that for the seventh circuit for the first time.
Yeah, so. I remember always watching the guys play. Saturday, Sunday, put the TV on and the Xbox are playing. It was something that was always exciting to watch, and I used to love watching. And actually being there a year later was, it's indescribable. I think, I was very fortunate that I was surrounded by quite a mature bunch of guys that assisted me to get me to play. But I think the nerves, I think something else. I think you think you can play rugby until you play your first game at sevens. Then you realize that it's a lot harder than what it looks. I remember that first time I was so nervous. I passed a ball past two guys and I passed it directly out. That was my first movement. So it brings back memories. But again, excited at the time.
Yeah, no, I can definitely imagine. I can imagine. So there's a group that I follow religiously and I'm part of. It's called the Fantasy Rugby TV group. So I asked my mates in this group to give me some questions. I've actually got them typed out, and I want to ask you some of them. And I feel that, these guys, they follow rugby week in, week out religiously. Like if I miss something, I can go into the group and just be like, hey guys, what happened? And I'll get that. So I thought, you know what, I'll ask them, what would they like to ask you? Like any other fan, that just gets you somewhere. Like, would you look up to? So the first thing that they asked was, who was and is now the person you look up to, and actually why within rugby?
Growing up as a youngster, I think you go through different phases. Being a junior player at the Free State, you looked up to the guys who were actually at the Free State, and a few guys actually, molded me in terms of how I thought of the game and also what it takes to be almost a professional. And it was almost in a different light. So I think one guy I always look up to was a guy by the name of Darries-Ep02. And the reason being is, I was driving on I think Sunday morning. We were off on our way to church, my mom, and I saw straight after the game, they played on Saturday, a big game. They were successful, and he was running around the Free State Stadium all alone. And I was trying to explain, this is Darries-Ep02, he's running, and it just made me understand that, even though he put the performance in on the Saturday, his work wasn't done. He didn't take an off day. And I think that's what made him so successful at the time, that he was always top fit. So I took that little bit and I almost made it part of my arsenal and tried to use as much of that. And it was a small moment, but I think, the influence that it had was massive. And then getting older, a few years down the line, Jean Smith was actually
such a legend.
And being a youngster, I actually my first job was working at the gym. It was called Super Sport Gym at the time. And the Free State used to gym at the gym. And one day I bought the courage to go ask him. I said, listen, Jean, I'm 19 years old. I'm training with the juniors. And I didn't expect him to drop his weights and actually come over and have a half an hour chat. And eventually the conditioning coach said, John, listen here, you got to carry on training. He said, listen here, but can you first finish this? And all he said was, listen here, that, it was never easy for him either. And he was also, he had to work for whatever he wanted. And again, just work ethic. But also what I took from there is also, you must have time for people. And I think, that's one thing that stuck with me. And I think it's, very good with the Springbok Sevens as a whole. It's part of our culture is that, there's never not time to have influence. And I think, if we can touch someone's life or we can influence someone in a positive way, I think then that's more than what a medal is for us. So, that little bit has influenced me and since then looked up to guys like that.
Yeah. So what a lot of people don't know is that I do follow a lot of the guys, and someone was there on Monday, and you're talking about just doing all of this. You changed someone's tire on Monday. You helped someone, and you are like either the Joker or the superhero. Like, what's going on with that? Because some people say you can kind of prank people, but you're also there to help whenever you need it.
Yeah, so I'm the team. They call me mechanic. I'm the local team handyman. If anything needs to be built, fixed, repaired, replaced, then I'm obviously first on call. So, it happens. And to be honest, it's again, something that's part of our culture. We'll never let someone else do it. I was probably just because I'm the mechanic that I'll replace the tire. But, there was 5 or 6 guys standing in line, all trying to help them and getting jacks and, trying to fix. And obviously, Branko de Pre was supervising because
he's in crutches.
He wasn't going to get involved in him and Justin, so they were telling me exactly what to do.
So they were just like, hey, they do it that way.
And not too tight and not too. So, the guys are, we just come from a lot of guys, humble beginnings and, all just normal people. And, if someone's in need, you can't turn an eye and turn it away and not help them. So, we guys that are, we a lot of fun. We do make a lot of jokes, especially me. I'm the joker. but then again, when it's time to get serious, we can be serious as well. So
Yeah.
we call it a on and off switch. And when it's time to switch on, you switch on, and when time to switch off, we switch off.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
So one of the other questions that we had, and I know it's a bit of a touchy subject, is what's been your toughest injury, and when you had to come back from, and how did it affect you, not just physically but mentally, to kind of be strong and get back into playing again?
Yeah. So yeah, good question. I think I've had a few injuries, and I've been very fortunate to not have massive injuries. But then in 2017, I tore my ACL, and that was a big one. Being 28 years old at the time, and tearing an ACL with a meniscus and having major damage to the rest of my knee. It was a good probability that could be done. And mentally in the beginning, I've always come back from injury, and I've always come back stronger. And so I thought initially that, it's just another step, that I have to hurdle, that I have to get over, and I'll be fine. I thought, what, I'm gonna, some guys have done it in 6 months, I'm gonna do it in 6 months. And when the 6 month mark happened, and I felt great, and I thought, listen, I've achieved what I thought I was going to achieve, and the next step is being on the field. And it was a World Cup year, and then just doing an extra session and realizing that, listen, something's not right, and almost going through the whole process again. And reality was that it was a 12-month injury. So physically is something that we've dealt with many times, physically being injured and repairing your body. But, the mental and the emotional side of that is something that, is something new to us, because we used to maybe a 5-month stint or a 3-month stint. And now you get a 12-month stint. And it's something you almost have to put realistic targets and call it an elastic band. So you can stretch the elastic band, but if you don't put tension on the band, it's not going to be, worth anything. And if you stretch it too far, it's going to snap. And
Definitely.
And that was the mental approach that I had to change my mindset and almost change it as to terms with, when I'm ready, then I will get out performance. And I wanted to get performance, but I knew I wasn't ready, and try to rush things. So, as the mental aspect, it's, you start doubting whether you can actually perform after this. And reality is, eventually you will. It just takes time, and something I had to deal with. And very fortunate that I had a good support system. I think more than ever, you need a physical support system in terms of rehab and physios and all that. But you also need support system who sees you when you're grumpy at home, and they don't understand why you're frustrated. So,
definitely.
You have those in place.
Yeah, well, definitely the mental, you coming back better. We've definitely seen that. So to the big thing that's happening now, that's kind of influenced everyone's life, that's kind of made the Zoom videos and all of these things enormous. The COVID pandemic that's kind of affected us all. I know you're back in training. So how has it affected you, not just as a sports person, but as just a normal, as Chris, Chris the brother, Chris the partner, Chris the son? How's it affected you and your family, and how have you seen it affect everyone else around you?
Yeah, so again, there's a lot of ways we can look at it. And for someone like us, a Zoom meeting doesn't give me a career, so I can understand I need to be on the field to play. So basically, very fortunate enough to still be employed by South African Rugby. And yes, there are pay cuts, and there are a lot of bonuses that you lose. But I think there are a lot of people who are in positions far harder than what we are. We being paid to play rugby, and we're not playing, where some people are really struggling with income because they physically cannot go to work or cannot work. And a lot of the people that are struggling are on the lower income. And I think looking at that, we are very fortunate. So I understand that, yes, it's something that affects us, but I was looking around and looking at different people's situations and realizing that they're in a far worse off position. and it affects not only them but their families' lives. They've got people relying on them, and if you take that approach to it, you're actually in a very fortunate position. And the other thing is, we got time to spend with the family. I was with my missus on the farm, on her family farm,
nice.
And having the whole family there for 4 months, it's something unheard of. You'll never get that time again. So I was very fortunate enough to have that, but in the same breath, tense, because I'm a rugby player that's not playing rugby.
That's not playing,
But, in different guys, if you're 19, 20, 21 years old, your whole life, everything's focused on rugby, whereas a 32-year-old, he's thinking a lot outside rugby as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Given the time for it. So, very fortunate also to have that time to actually start putting other things in place and start looking at different options. So, COVID for me was frustrating, but also good.
Yeah, well, that kind of comes to the next question, and it seems like we're getting it kind of going in a nice flow here. One thing still to achieve on and then off the field. You've got the gold medal with the Commonwealth, but what else is there for Chris on and Chris off the field?
So on the field definitely is Olympic Games.
Amazing.
Going to Rio in 2016 as a first reserve and not getting that opportunity, was frustrating for me. I think also I've put my whole career into Springbok Sevens, and not getting that opportunity was something that was heartbreaking, but also very frustrating. And that's something that I would love to get, but also be a medalist. Going to the Olympics is one thing, but definitely want a medal. And everyone wants that gold medal. I think that would be the ideal goal. Yeah, and off the field, I've been heavily focused on my career in terms of I'm in construction and in property development, and I started working with a firm on my off day. So very fortunate to be incorporated in that. But eventually would love to start something for myself. Outside of rugby. So hopefully watch a space.
Yeah, definitely. And then, well, I hope you're going to share it with me so I can then break it off to everyone else. But, what has been, and last, before I get to maybe 2 or 3 easy questions that I'd like to call it, what has been the proudest moment for you on the field? Something that you might not have, like a moment of either someone coming and shaking your hand or just doing anything. What has really stood out for you in your time, not just as sevens, but being varsity cup and playing with the Cheetahs?
Wow. I think there's a lot of moments that, again, it's difficult to choose one. I think one specific one is when you're so far behind that it's not really, something that you can actually come back from, and then actually coming back from and winning a game and being in a final, I think that's something that you'll forever cherish. I think for me, one of the biggest moments was winning in Cape Town. And then afterwards, just having the whole family in the changing room, and, having your dad and your mom come in, and, they've put so much time and effort, and all you want to do as a youngster is actually just say, listen, I've achieved something, and, this is what I've achieved because of what you've sacrificed. And, that moment for me will stand out in the rest of my career, having them in the changing room and, we winning in front of our home tournament. It's something that you can't describe. And I think, it does something to them, that actually, they realize that this, it wasn't, they didn't sacrifice for granted. They had to do a lot in order to get us kids to where we are. And it's just some recognition for them. So I think that's the moment that really stands out the most. We could have lost the tournament, but, because we were successful, I think it just added to that.
Yeah, no, Cape Town Stadium itself, a place that I keep close, even though I love Newlands. I must say that the atmosphere at Cape Town Stadium with the last few Sevens tournaments have been unbelievable, and I'm looking forward to next year. With the Lions, and we're hoping and praying that everything just runs smooth, and that we get this going. And then just some questions from my side. I want to kind of just spin it up and keep it nice. So quick fire. Firstly, what would you prefer, restaurant or braai at home?
Ride home.
All right. Night out or night in with your partner?
Night in.
Okay, nice. And then your favorite holiday destination. It doesn't have to be South Africa, but just remember that most of the South Africans watching.
Well, definitely, Impekweni is in the Eastern Cape. A
Nice.
lot of untouched beaches, a lot of fishing. Not a lot of people. It's close to Fish River. So yeah, that's my ideal destination.
Lekker, man. Well, Chris, I want to say thank you so much for taking time out to actually chat to me. The other thing I need to share with you is that I'm also involved with Cape Town 10. So I'm hoping one day I'm going to get you on my team to actually come and play with me at 10s.
Rather with you than against, eh?
Rather with me. I'm keeping you close by. You're going to be my secret weapon when we have it. But I want to say thank you so much. It's an absolute pleasure. I wish you well with your guys' preparation. And I look forward to seeing you on the field again, definitely. I know the beginning of the year, I read up, you had your phone with you. I know, and that's what I love, the passion and the love and commitment you have to the game. And I look forward to many, many more years. I know that you said you're 32, but I know that you've still got it in that tank of yours. So I hope to see you. And we just look at what's going to happen in the next few months. So thank you so much for taking time out to actually chat to me. And hopefully we'll definitely have some more chats like this in the future.
Definitely. Yeah, thanks for having me. And yeah, great time to, almost to be back on the field. So the guys are really excited for that. And hopefully, yes, everything goes well. I'm excited for that British-Irish Lions tour. I think, that's going to be something that, we as Africans can't wait. It's that little bit of Springbok rugby, I think, and hopefully, they show what they've done in the World Cup and give us a great show. Yeah, so excited times ahead. And yeah,
Excellent.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you so much, Chris. You have a fantastic day further, and we'll chat again. Cheers.
Definitely. Cheers, man. Bye-bye.